Hello, ghosties. I'm Chance Lee,
And I'm Amanda McAvoy.
and this is That's So Gothic, a movie podcast about girls, guys, and haunted houses. And you know, Amanda, I watch you when you're sleeping. You belong with me. Do you feel the same? Or am I only dreaming? Or is this burning an eternal flame?
Beautiful.
Louise, we need to get out of here now. Louise, what are you doing?
Everything okay in there?
Yeah, we're all good.
Anything we can get you?
No, we'll just be a minute.
We can't let on. Yeah? We can't look stressed or scared. We just have to go out there and be completely normal.
This is my husband, Ben.
I'm Patrick Feld. This is my wife, Kira. You have to come and visit us. The West Country, really, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's so quiet around here. Don't even have any neighbors?
Agnes, love, you have to eat your vegetables. But we don't chew with our mouths open.
Please, could you stop telling my daughter what to do?
You don't criticize other people's children. You should say sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Louise.
Louise, is there anything you'd like to say? Cold water therapy, proven to boost the immune system.
And we didn't bring our swimsuits.
Oh, that's all right. You can keep your knickers on.
You shouldn't be shy, Louise. You've got a great body.
Oh, thank you.
I admire you. Louise is a great woman. I've always wanted a family like yours.
Mom, something's not right with him.
What is wrong with you? I want to back up the car, and I want to leave now.
Oh, no. That is really bad luck. I know we can both be...
A bit much. They're gonna kill us. What? He went dead.
Mom?
Right here. You're neither predator nor prey.
I need you to be brave. You guys have been...
Just a breath of fresh air. Oh, well, that is very sweet of you to say.
Released in 2024, Speak No Evil was written and directed by James Watkins, and it's a remake of a 2022 Danish film of the same name in English. This one stars James McAvoy as Paddy, a friendly Scottish doctor. Aisling Franciosi as Kira, his charming Irish wife. Mackenzie Davis as Louise, an American mother. And Scoot McNairy as Ben, her husband. And this is the story of a vacation gone horribly wrong. So this movie was much more successful than I thought. It made $76 million against a $15 million budget.
Oh, wow.
It's a Blumhouse movie. They tend to make bank even when they're not that great.
Mm-hmm.
This one has an 83% critical tomato and an 83% popcorn meter.
What?
Matt Zoller Sites for RogerEbert.com gave it 3 stars out of 4. And he writes that Speak No Evil is a throwback to the 1980s, 90s era of medium budget thrillers like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Unlawful Entry, and Fatal Attraction, in which representatives of supposedly respectable bourgeoisie society are menaced by dangerous outsiders who smell weakness in them and want to punish them for their sins, perceived or real. And he also whines about the ending of this one being different than the original. which I'll spoil momentarily. So if you haven't seen the original one, you'll want to skip ahead a few minutes. But he still gave it 3 stars, and he said, "See this opening weekend."
Nice.
The 2022 one is a critical darling, 84% critical tomato, and only a 54% audience tomato.
Interesting. I actually have not seen it, and one of the things that kind of prevented me from seeing it is your opinion of it.
I'm in the 46%. I thought it was a stinker.
Yeah, and honestly, we'll get into it, but I liked this version so much that I can't see a reason for me to go back and watch that. But that's interesting that there's such a, uh, discrepancy between audience and critics on that one.
The ending is polarizing, perhaps. I don't
Okay.
know. A lot of people put it on the ending of it. I think it's just stupid and boring, and it's so I don't know if it's lost in translation
Mm,
because I am not Danish. I had to
mhm.
look up. I'm like, where is Daneland? Like, I couldn't even. I forgot Denmark existed.
Dane to Hauntland. It's just all Dane haunts.
I would go there. I would go to there.
Yes, that would be way more interesting.
It's like
Sorry,
when people, I think about Holland and I'm like, what do they speak there? Hollish? Like the
polish.
Hollish people? Like it just these countries, these like Scandinavian countries,
Yes.
I don't connect with at all. And
Mm.
this is very similar to that vampire movie with Chloe Grace Moretz.
Oh, let the right one in? Yes.
So Let Me In is the American one, and Let the Right
Right.
One In is the Swedish one. That one I hated, and I love the American one. Like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, America's we're going through it right now. We're having a
Yeah,
tough time. But
yeah.
in general, I think that maybe one strategy, this is not a political podcast, but maybe one of the strategies the Democrats could try is making patriotism democratic.
Mm.
Like I want to go around with like a giant American flag coming out of my Italian import car, but still like a
Yeah,
giant American flag, but all and like blue lives matter, but then in
yeah,
parentheses be like Trump doesn't give a shit because he pardoned all the
yeah,
insurrectionists.
yes,
Like let's bring this back. Let's make it cool again. I
yeah.
recently went to Bucky's, which is the most American establishment.
Yep.
I and then in the car leaving Bucky's, I went on the internet and ordered more Bucky's merchandise.
That's
And
amazing.
one of the things I bought is a Bucky shirt, and on the back, Bucky is riding a motorcycle. He has an American flag helmet on, and it says, "Excuse me, I can't hear you over the sound of freedom ringing."
Fucking incredible.
And I'm
That
wearing that.
is
I'm
so
not taking it off this summer. I'm sorry.
yes, absolutely. Did I ever tell you about my biggest regret in life is I went to a Colorado rest stop and I saw a shirt there and it said, "I would be a vegetarian if vegetables were more fun to shoot at." And I wish I had gotten that shirt so badly.
I love
Um,
that.
but yes, I think focus American pride on what we do well, which is improve upon Scandinavian movies.
Yes. Yes. So the Scandinavian one, either I missed it, but I really don't
Mhm.
think it's there. There's no humor. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
serious. And the
mhm.
situation is objectively stupid because you
It's
have
ridiculous.
these people who just won't leave. Like I
Mhm.
love leaving. I love not hanging out with people. I love
Yes,
being alone. So I don't understand why they don't peace out immediately. But in
right.
the American version, you kind of get it because James McAvoy is funny. He is charming.
Yes,
There's a vibe there.
right,
Whereas they're just dour and creepy in the other
right. Why
one.
would you wanna be there?
And especially when they leave and then they go back to get the bunny,
Yeah.
the it they make a little more sense in the American version. In the Swedish
Mhm.
one or Danish one, whatever, the Hollish one, I'm just like, "Why are you going back for that fucking rabbit?"
Right.
And then here's the spoiler alert. At the end, they the bad guys succeed. They take the kid,
Mm.
they stone the couple to death, and bury them in a pit. The
Wow.
end.
Okay. Womp womp.
And when I found out they were remaking this movie, I thought, "Ugh, that's
Yeah.
a bad movie." And then I saw the trailer and I'm like, "There's no way in hell that they are putting Mackenzie Davis in a pit
That is true.
because we are Americans and we do not lay down and get trampled. Do not tread." Mackenzie Davis says, "Do not tread on me."
Rah-rah!
Like, I'm gonna get a shirt that's like Mackenzie Davis, like cut into
Yes.
little pieces and says, "Do not tread on me" instead of the snake, like
Oh my goodness. It's just like such a beautiful representation of America overcoming the, United Kingdom overlords. This is a movie about American freedom. It's a movie about
Mhm,
American independence. It's about our
mhm,
core values. Um,
mhm.
Absolutely. That is so
God Bless
funny.
America. Yes, this is my, favorite new American classic that's
Exactly. It goes like,
written and directed by a British man.
yeah, it goes, what's the really popular Stanley Kubrick one? Um, Full Metal Jacket, Speak No Evil. Like
Speaking of
those
people.
are
Yes. Yeah,
those
Born
are
on the
the
4th of July is 3rd. Yeah.
this honestly, it shouldn't have been a Bangles song, it should have been Bruce Springsteen. Um, Although I love the Bangles song, like, I'm sure we'll get into it, but it's such a good moment. It's such a good song for the movie. Um, but yeah, oh my goodness. What a beautiful patriotic movie this is.
This really is. I'm gonna wave my American flag and watch Speak No Evil every Independence Day from now on. So what did you think about this movie?
I loved it. I thought it was I'm a big James McAvoy fan, not just
Your
because he is
cousin.
my cousin. Yeah, of course. I have to represent. Um, but I loved it. It is over the top. It's so dramatic. It's so uncomfortable. Um, the first time watching it, I was truly like shocked by so many parts of it. And the second time watching it, it's like it's like you said, like, it's so ridiculous. It's on the verge of comedic, and I it's so entertaining.
I agree. I think this movie is like the blackest of black comedies.
Mhm.
To me, it is a hoot and a holler
Yes,
from start to finish.
yes. We'll get into it more later, but specifically the very end, um, the scene that happens at the very end, the changing of the ending of this movie, um, watching it a second time, it is maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, when you're not being shocked by it, it
Right.
is truly hilarious. It's so good. All the performances are really good. The kid actors are great, which, like, kid actors, they're usually just, you could replace them with cardboard cutouts and it'd probably be a better movie. This one is they're really good. Um, Even the little girl who should be, like, the annoying one, like, I felt for her, like, she did such a good job. I felt some like, the scene you were talking about where they turn back for the bunny, I was like, "I get it, like, go back for the bunny, like,
Mhm.
this poor little girl." Um, oh my goodness, it's really good.
I don't know what happened over the last 30 years, but kid actors have gotten so much better than they were in the 90s.
Mm, yeah.
And I learned from the commentary the boy had
Mhm.
never acted before.
Wow, he did great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Because there was a bonus feature where I remember I think it was the little boy was talking about how he it was almost more difficult too because he has to express so much without using words. And he did such a good job, again, like, I really felt for him, I connected with him, he didn't feel like this outlier in the cast, like, just really,
Mhm.
really phenomenal.
I think the cast, I mean, you really do have maybe 7 people, 8 people
Yeah,
in this whole movie,
mhm,
and they really nail it. James
yeah.
McAvoy is an absolute legend.
Yes, and he is so scary in this movie. Scarier than any other movie, scarier than all those M. Night Shyamalan movies. He looks so powerful. Like,
Mm.
He looks like I'm more scared of him in this physique than I am of, like, any wrestler because I feel like sometimes you get too muscular and it's almost not scary anymore because you can, like, barely close your arms. He is,
Yes.
like, at the exact perfect level where it's like, this man could rip my scalp off if he wanted to. He is that strong, but he's also fast. Um,
Mhm.
he is so frightening in this movie, like, genuinely scary. Um, I love him so much, though.
The first time I saw him was as Mr. Tumnus in the Witch in the Wardrobe movie, and
I
I've never been a furry before or since, but during that time, I was.
Yes. It's funny because I think the first time I saw him was in, um, Penelope with, um, oh my god, what is it? Christina Ricci, yeah, and she had the pig nose, and he, like, fell in love with her anyways, like, I don't even remember, but I remember being
Forgot
like,
about that.
"Wow, my cousin is so gracious," and but he's always it's funny because like, I feel like he kinda built his career on being not like it's like an unassuming, standard good-looking guy kind of thing.
Mhm.
Again, still a great actor, but something happened where he was like, "I'm just gonna get ripped and go crazy and, like, go unhinged." And I was actually talking to it, about the with my brother, and we agree that we think M. Night Shyamalan maybe broke something in him. He was like, "I can't go back. Can't play just your standard, love interest, regular guy." You know? He's gotta kinda keep it picked up.
For I think you're right. For
Yeah,
all the shit I've talked about M. Night Shyamalan,
yeah,
him changing James McAvoy might be his greatest achievement.
right? 100% agree. He should get an award for that.
He really should. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Wow.
because this was, like it was, like, right off of because remember James McAvoy was, he was an X-Man. He was a he was, Charles,
I missed
and
that
that
era of X-Men, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but that was, like, his thing, and then M. Night Shyamalan said, "Get me this man, make him wear a dress and heels, and run around on all fours." And James
Does he wear
McAvoy
dress and
said
heels?
think he has heels on. He definitely because when he dresses as Patricia so this is actually really sad. Um, my grandmother passed away a couple of months ago, and her name is Patricia McAvoy. So and it took them a really long time to post her obituary, and so he kept Googling Patricia McAvoy, and he he's like girls.
Oh my god.
James McAvoy, turtleneck lover.
Oh my heavens.
No matter what, he is always my ride or die. I love him so much.
I agree, I agree.
Yeah.
He elevates everything.
Mhm.
Also elevates everything, and not because she's so tall, is Mackenzie
Mm.
Davis, who is someone I never think about, but when she's in a movie, I go, "Oh my god, I love her."
Yeah, she's so good in this.
She is so good in this. She's so tall in this, and I realize the reason why she always seems very, very tall.
Mhm.
She's I don't mean to say only because she's taller than I am, but she's 5'10".
Okay.
James McAvoy is 5'7".
He's a baby.
I'm taller than James McAvoy.
Wow. Yeah, that's about I'm like 5'6", so
Like,
he's
he could still
about my
crush me,
height.
but I'm an
Yeah,
inch taller than him.
yeah,
And so she's the tallest. She's taller than Scoot.
yep.
She's the tallest one in the cast. For years, I called her Tully because she's in Tully and she plays Tully in
Oh,
Tully.
yeah, of course.
And I would see her in a preview. I go, "It's Tully. Tully's in this."
Like, yeah.
Tully was Terminator. Tully was in Blade Runner. Tully was
Ooh.
in Happiest Season, and she's in a great movie. Not a great movie. I've never seen the movie. I have no judgment on the movie, but it has a great title. It's called Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town.
Is she Izzy?
She's Izzy.
Phenomenal. She's
I want to
quite
see
the
it.
yeah, quite the titular character.
I'll watch Tully get the fuck across town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, love Tully.
Yeah.
She really does. The situation that they're in is ridiculous, but
Hmm.
she plays it straight, which is always the smart choice.
Yes.
And she's so good. She's so nuanced. Her expressions, her body language, everything is just phenomenal.
Yeah. She's really good. Again, um, the scene at the end, her expressions are so well done. Like she commits. Like they're very overdramatic, but in the best way.
Hmm. And I think I love Scoot. I love Scoot
Who
McNairy.
is
I
he in? He looks familiar.
so I if you said, "What do you think about Scoot McNairy?" I'd say I
Yeah.
have such a crush on him, and you would say, "Really? Why?" And I would say, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I've seen him in." So he had some bit parts in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Okay.
Gone Girl, and
Okay.
Quiet Place Part 2.
Hmm.
He usually has a mustache, which I'm very fond of.
Oh.
And in 2024, he was in both this and in Night Bitch with Amy Adams.
Oh.
He's very good in that too.
I did just look him up. He was also in Bob Dylan, A Complete Unknown. And I think that's where I recognized him from
Oh.
because I just saw that semi recently and he plays Woody Guthrie and he's
Oh,
headed to a bed the whole time and he does such a good job.
I think one of the reasons why I'm like, where is this person? Because he
Mhm.
blends in,
Yeah,
and I feel like him with a mustache and him shaved are totally two different people.
I could totally yeah. Yeah, I don't I it's funny because I think I know him better without a mustache, but if it literally is I think I brought it up on the last episode, like the I don't know who this man is, Kiki Palmer meme. Like if he showed up to me with a mustache, like I have no idea who he is, but he's great.
He's good as well, and he has
Yeah.
one of the more challenging roles to play because he is
Mm,
the almost like the cuck in a way,
yes.
but he
Yeah.
can't be too pitiful or pathetic, and I think he does a great job with it.
Yeah, he kind of plays this like frustratingly loving, like you want to love him asshole, but not even an asshole. Like you can tell that he's really hurt and in pain, and he finally has this buddy. And it's like, who wouldn't wanna be friends with James McAvoy?
And go scream with him out in the wilderness.
Yes! Oh, and listen to the Bangles. Yeah.
He is because Scoot plays such a beta and James McAvoy
Mm,
plays such an alpha, and
yes.
I would relate more to the Scoot character as much as, no one wants to admit it,
Yes.
and if I got to hang out with someone like James McAvoy and go scream like that in the woods, I might not leave either, to be honest.
Honestly, I'd be, like, kinda cool with it. I'd be like, "You know what?" And there's a lot of things that I'm sure we're gonna talk about, like the house, the food they cook, the places they go to eat. I'm like, "I do you have to kill me? Like, I would just hang out. Like, I'll be the kid. Like, whatever you need from a child, I will be that."
You just keep us locked in the basement.
Yeah, honestly, like, we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, it would be he's a good hang.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, our director, James Watkins, also did Woman in Black, which we talked about a
Mhm.
couple years ago. I I watched Woman in Black with the commentary, and I watched this
Mm,
with the commentary. I don't understand why he doesn't make more movies. He seems like such a sharp, astute, observant filmmaker who's made,
mm,
like, I don't know, 4 movies in 15, 20 years.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, like, 1 episode of Black Mirror.
Was Woman in Black his last movie?
He had one in between Woman in Black and this one that
Mhm.
I had never heard of. I've not heard of any of the other movies of his.
Mm.
His debut, his debut was Eden Lake, which I think sometimes pops up on random streaming services, but I've never watched it.
Mm.
And in 2016, he directed the action movie Bastille Day, which
Oh,
starred Idris Elba.
wow. That
Never
seems
heard of
random.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like the French version of Independence Day, I guess, but no aliens.
Oh, boo.
So, yeah. But I wish he did more things because Woman in Black was fine, I think, because it was PG-13, but it was moody
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it. And watching it with the commentary, I really appreciated what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
So I think he really nailed it with this one though, because he also wrote the screenplay. So he adapted the screenplay,
Oh, okay.
and I think the choices that he made, I think every choice he made improved upon the original
Mm,
dour script.
yeah. Without having seen the original, I can't imagine it's better. I just cannot fathom it.
If you like knowing exactly what direction a movie is gonna go in
Mm,
from the beginning, not having a single surprise or joke, and just having it hit you over the head for an hour and a half, you'll love it.
mm, phenomenal. Who
Mhm.
wouldn't?
I mean, I guess, frankly, a lot of people who I don't
Yeah.
know. But, yeah, so let's talk about our gothic elements of
Mm,
Speak No Evil. Our gothic elements are a girl, a guy, a house, and a haunt. Our girl typically drawn into a situation they do not expect and find
mhm.
themselves in over their heads is the whole American family, I
The
think.
Whole American Family, it's the little boy. Um,
Mm.
there is sort of a like, it's purposely confusing, plot point of you don't know if his wife what's her name again? Kira?
Kira.
That she could potentially have been a victim too, but, I mean, that gets into, like, a whole psychology of, like, do you blame her? Which I do, um, like, um, kind of thing, but, yeah, it's without jumping ahead, Patty is for sure, the ringleader, like, he
Oh, yeah.
is psychotic.
Yes, and I going back to what you said about Kira, if that was in the, um, D D D D Danish, Dutch,
Yeah,
both, are they the same
mhm,
thing? I don't know.
yeah,
Um,
Danny.
if that was in that one, I had checked out by then and didn't
Mm,
care, but when she pulls that in this one saying, "I was his first victim," it's, like,
yeah,
head spinning.
exactly, it's so good because, again, it's just dramatic, like and, we didn't really talk about her, but the actress who plays Kira is incredible too, like, she's really good, um, and she does such a good job of it's like, you kind of get the sense that the character is acting, and so it's like, oh, it's really good, but, yeah, like, everyone seems to be kind of drawn into Patty's orbit, like, he's so enigmatic, like, he's so charming. This easily could have been like the plot could have been that he's a cult leader. Like he's so
Mm.
captivating.
Even though there's not a sexual element to it, he's very seductive.
He is. There's definitely like a homoerotic thing with him and the American dad.
They're such bros.
Such bros. And it's like, yes, I want to like, let men be friends, but like they're hot for each other.
That would
Like,
be a direction I would have loved for the movie to go in.
yes, absolutely. They're so good.
I like we said, all the characters in this are great. But yeah, the way James McAvoy is so good at you can't even tell if he's lying sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when he says, "I'm not a doctor,"
Yes.
and then you're like, "Wait," and then he says, "I'm just joking, of course I'm a doctor." It's like, did he slip up and is he covering it up, or was this a
Yes.
gag? Because we know nothing about him either, which is
Yes,
such a
like, which one
smart
is the lie?
decision.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he e everything he says is doubtful, but, like, you wanna believe him.
I think he's a great guy because
Mhm.
the guy is the seductive one, and
Yeah.
the iconic gothic guys have the ulterior motive. We've ended up
Mhm.
with the accidental guy before, and the that's the only one I can think of.
Yes. Yeah.
But the intentionally deceptive one is
Yes.
always the kind of the best one and the
Mhm.
quintessential one.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is so fascinating because you never do really get a explanation for his motives. You don't understand what they are. You kind of get a sense of he just, is maybe trying to put on this perfect front. There's sort of this element of, you said it at the top of the episode, like this more rural, lower class family sort of, you know, getting a leg up on a more
Mm.
affluent, bougie family. Um, but you never get, like, a concise reason, and it makes him even more threatening.
Never explain. I think that's
Never
one of the key screenwriting lessons from this movie. Don't explain it.
exactly, just let it happen.
This movie tells you what you need to know and
Mhm,
nothing more.
exactly.
I think the star of the show, we've talked about the actors, they're great. But the star of the show is this fucking house.
Oh, this is so good, I wanna live there so bad.
And you
It's
could, because it's
yes,
real.
it's real! Yes. Oh, it's so cool. I cannot believe they found this house, I can't believe the set decorators should have won Oscars, like, it feels so perfectly lived in. Um, we kinda talked about it before the episode, there's this special feature where you get, like, a tour of the house, and the way that the set decorators talk about like, something I didn't even necessarily pick up on, it's just so inherent in it, is that they have all of these, like, tchotchkes and knickknacks because they're traveling all the time doing this scheme, and it's like, you don't think of that when you're watching the movie, but you kind of do at the same time, like, it makes sense for them. Oh, I just love it so much.
The details are astonishing in this.
Yep.
And yeah, but just from watching this feature and then turning out it's a house and
Yeah.
there's no sets. It's a real working operating farm called
Oh.
Three Ways Farm in Gloucester, England,
Ooh.
which I only know how to pronounce because I live in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Um, but it and they continue. There's a family that lives there, and
Oh,
they
wow.
continued operating the farm during shooting. And the weirdest advocacy group ever is called farminglocations.com, which helps British farms connect with film production companies so they can film there.
Wow!
So
That's so
they
lovely.
assisted in connecting them with the filmmakers and
Wow.
ensuring that the farm could still operate because that's like, the family's main, source of income.
Yeah.
They are an organic farm that raises cattle and sheep.
Wow, how lovely. Oh, I would love to visit someday.
Wouldn't that be cool? And
Yeah.
they said a lot of the set decoration too was the family's personal items.
Really? I might have to reach out to them because there is a piece of artwork in the room. You can see it really clearly during one of my favorite scenes, which is when the American couple are talking in their room, like their guest room, and they've kind of gotten into like an argument and then they're kind of making up. And oh, the room has like this frosted glass on the door and you don't realize it because it's always been there, but then all of a sudden the shadow moves away from the door. Did you notice that when you watched it? Like,
No, I watched this movie 3 times. I
yeah,
saw it, and then I saw it on Blu-ray, and then I saw it on
yep,
Blu-ray again, and then I saw it with the commentary, and
yeah.
only when he pointed it out in the commentary did I
That is so
notice.
funny. Yeah, I love that. That scene gives me literal goosebumps. It's so good. Um, but in that shot where you can see the door and the couple, there's a piece of artwork on the wall, and it's like a black and white sort of sketch. It reminds me of the artist Edward Gorey, like one of his pieces, and I want it so badly. So I'm not kidding. I might reach out to the farm and see if that's a piece they own, because I just wanna know who the artist is. I just wanna know what it is.
Yeah, you
I love it so
should.
much. And
I'd
if
be
it's the
so
set
curious.
decorator, let me know, because I'm sure you're listening to this, set decorators.
And if they auction off props
Oh,
from the film, maybe you can own it.
yes, please. I want it so bad. I love it. I think it's just like the coolest piece of artwork, and it being from this really, again, like just speaking of the house, like the it's so funny because it's, again, like it's a house that already existed. So for them to just so happen to have this door with frosted glass, and then the filmmakers to use that as a part of the story is so impressive.
What you just said is true. I hadn't thought about that before, and it makes me
Mm,
think how they say constraints breed creativity, and having to work
mm,
with this house, and you look at it. I imagine if you're doing the blocking and setting up the shots, you look at it in a whole different way, and you see it as
yeah.
opportunities.
Right, and the fact that it's, not a soundstage, so they have to be creative with the lighting. I mean, there's huge parts of this movie that take place at night. I'm sure that was incredibly difficult. Um, and I just think it's shot so wonderfully.
It's a really beautiful movie.
Mhm, mhm.
One of the humorous things on farminglocations.com is where they talked about how they helped support the family from the initial visit from the director to blowing up a car on their lawn. Which I just found hysterical because I guess it's true, it's like it's
Yeah,
funny when it's a movie, but if you live there, you'd be like,
they
are
have
we
to
sure about
blow it up.
this?"
Yeah,
Right.
like, you
"Can
can't
this be
just, like, I don't
CG?"
know, the tires or, like
Right.
I know, I hope they help, like, reshingle the roof and stuff. They're doing, like, acrobatic things. They're busting window panes. I mean, I'm sure a lot of that
Mhm.
is, like, movie magic, fake things, but, like, still, like, there's there's a lot of, like, destruction and mayhem happening at the house towards the end.
If they turned it into a B&B, we would
Mm,
have to go.
yes. If they turned it into a B&B, I would bring my own, what is it that Kira loves? She has, like, a fertility statue, and she gets really upset when she breaks it. I would have to bring my own in honor. Be like, "That's these
We can just reenact scenes from the movie. They'll be like, "Oh god, it's people like this again.
these Americans." I get it
These
now.
Americans." Oh my goodness.
They start living the movie because they're so sick of us.
I know you're right, I know.
Yeah,
Then next thing we know, we're locked in the basement.
the vicious cycle.
It wasn't a B Airbnb after all. It was all a
Yeah.
plot. That's the sequel. The
Yes.
So we don't really have a haunt. There's no supernatural element to this. The haunt is just kind of like, I don't know, our overwhelming desire to be nice.
Yes, yeah. Our overwhelming desire to wanna be in James McAvoy's general presence.
Mhm.
He's just so charismatic. I feel like I keep bringing it back. I'm so sorry. This whole podcast is me just having such family pride, but, it like, that's the haunt, though, is, like, you wanna be friends with him.
And for me, that's why the Danish version didn't
Mm,
work. The guy isn't he doesn't have the charisma of James McAvoy,
right.
and I would just wanna leave. Whereas, like I
Yes.
said earlier, I would wanna stay with
Mhm.
James McAvoy and
Yes.
sing songs in the woods and jump off a
Mhm.
cliff into the water and
Oh,
just have a
yeah,
grand old time. Eat the,
honestly.
what's the goose's name?
Oh, I can't remember. It's so good, though. They
That
killed their prize goose.
is so funny. Again, it's so funny going back when he
Yes.
forces Tully, whose character is a vegetarian, to eat the goose. Like, it's just like, it's hilarious.
Yes, and their whole conversation about, like, how being a vegetarian is privilege, and it's such a tense It's such a ridiculous conversation, and I can't believe how tense and uncomfortable it was able to be, for, like, such a
Mhm.
kind of silly topic. Oh, it's so good.
And I like too that they're able to have these conversations without coming across like they're on one side or another. They're not
Mhm.
preachy about it, and the characters are having these conversations. It just feels very organic. It just
It
feels very
does.
real.
Yeah, yeah, it really does.
Well, do we have any bonus Gothics in this one?
Is there's no Panano?
I don't think there's a Panano.
No. Um, yeah, I don't think there's any bonus
Well,
Gothics.
there's doors.
There's a lot of doors.
Doors out
Yeah,
the
that is true.
wazoo.
A lot of opening and closing of doors, a lot of doors.
Mhm. Peeking
Yeah,
through
that is true.
doors.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's not even a rocking chair.
No. I mean, you could try to make, like, the romantic rival because, Scoot is definitely enamored with Jimmy, but,
Right.
I don't think we need to make that connection too strongly.
Well, we have a good girl in our American
Mhm.
family. We have a quintessential Gothic guy,
Yes.
and then we have an incredible house. But is it Gothic? Do you think it's Gothic, goth-ish, or no Gothic?
I would put this in goth-ish, but, like, this is where, like, we need more of a point system because it's, like,
We
goth-ish,
need a
but
rubric.
yeah, like, closer to the gothic. Like, it's funny because this movie what did we give Misery? Did we say Misery was gothic? I
I
can't
you know,
remember.
I'm the worst at the record keeping. I
Yeah,
don't I don't
forget.
keep it down. I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
almost harder too when it's one that we've done recently because
Mhm.
sometimes I'll go back and obviously, like, re-listen and stuff, but I haven't for that. I can't but it feels kinda similar to Misery where it's like it's the feeling of trapped isolation, so that definitely gives you, like, gothic vibes, but there's something that separates it just a little bit, and I think it is kind of that, like, haunting aspect, whether
Mhm.
or not it's supernatural or not. Um, so yeah, I would put it in goth-ish, but, like, there could be an argument made for gothic.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
I kinda go the other way. I would say
Mm,
goth-ish, but leaning towards no Gothic, and
really?
I think for me, it's that, like, they're not really trapped, like,
Mm.
if they had tried harder I mean, they leave at one point and they go
Yeah,
back,
yes.
whereas the more Gothic-y ones, you really feel to
Mm,
me, that's the element I most connect with, I think, is that feeling of isolation and, like, suffocation,
yeah.
and I don't really feel that in this one.
Yeah. I feel it only because I wouldn't wanna get in a Tesla, so I would just stay at the house for that. Because 'cause isn't that the car they drive? Don't they drive a Tesla?
Do they drive a Tesla? I didn't even
I think they might
notice.
I think they drive a Tesla, so, like, I would
Mm,
not wanna get back in that. They drive an
that's
electric car,
true.
I know that, yeah. Um,
I am not surprised, what a good detail, again, that I didn't notice.
yeah, yeah, and so when did this came out in 2024?
I think it came out in December.
So, probably close to when the public opinion of Tesla was turning quite a bit.
Ugh. Frankly, the public opinion of Tesla should have always
It
been
always
turned.
should have been. Yeah, yeah.
I loved when the Teslas were exploding years ago.
Ah, that was so much fun.
Bring that
Yeah,
back.
honestly, it was a good time.
But I think then we've averaged out into gothish.
Goldfish. Yeah, I
Is
feel
that
good
fair?
about that.
Fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment.
Consider it gothish.
Perfect. I wish I had a gavel.
We need like a stamp. We need a sound
Yeah.
effect. Maybe I'll find a sound effect. I won't, but
Yes.
maybe someday
Eh,
I will.
yeah.
What other memorable scenes do you want to discuss?
Mhm.
There's so many to choose from. That
So
sounded sarcastic, but I meant it.
yes, it's funny because the two I want to talk about, one is from the beginning of the movie and one is from the very end. And one of my favorite parts of this movie, and I'm sure I would enjoy it more if I had like your opinion, if I had seen the Danish version first, is like the first part of the movie when they're on vacation in Italy or something. I'm not
I
even
think so.
sure. Yeah, is they just keep shitting on these Danish people for being boring. And
I didn't even make
have
that connection. You're right.
I have to assume it was a slight dig at the original. I don't know
That
how connected like,
that's
'cause
funny.
that is the whole thing is that's how they become friends, is they bond over this Danish couple, and because my favorite part of the movie is when they come to, like this Danish couple enters the restaurant where the 4 of them are sitting at a table already, and Patty's like, come sit with us. We were just having this discussion. Do you fold or crumple your toilet paper?" And they go, thank you, never mind." And they
They have no sense of humor.
exactly, we could really dissect this, like, that is American excellence at its best, is making people uncomfortable enough to leave us the fuck alone.
You're
Like,
right.
even though Patty isn't the American one, like, you know, he represents
He's American once removed. The British
e
face it. They're American wannabes.
exactly. So I just love that aspect, I think it's so funny. I love the kind of to do with that too when they're on vacation and Patty is zipping around on the little Vespa and he takes the little girl for a ride. He's like, "What?"
And she loves it. It's sweet.
He's having such a good time. Again, I 1000% understand why the Americans went to go meet these people. I would too.
Mhm. Mhm.
I would do it too for a check. Um, but then the other scene I wanted to bring up that I was kind of alluding to a couple of times is if you wanna watch this movie and you don't want the total ending spoiled, because I will say it shocked me what happened at the sort of very end, is Patty becomes incapacitated. I think he's, like, paralyzed from a shot or something, and all of them, including, the little girl and the little boy, go to leave, and before they leave, the little boy picks up a rock and smashes Patty's face in, and it's brutal, like, it's
Mhm.
it's rough, but so the first time I watched it, I was totally horrified, just, like, shocked. Second time I watched it, I was on an airplane, and when you really take the time to look at the other characters' expressions, it is so funny. Like, what I'm sorry, what was her name? Mackenzie Davis? Is that the
Tully.
actress's? Yeah, Tully.
Tully.
Her face is phenomenal. It is so good. She is so like, I have to be convinced that they did not tell her that's what was gonna happen in the movie. Her face is so spot on, so raw, so horrified. So yeah, I was watching this on an airplane and I, like, cackled out loud. Like, I was like, "Wow, I did not notice just how spectacular their expressions are." So, highly recommend really taking a focus on those the next time you watch.
Oh, yeah, mine are the same, and
Yeah.
it's again, this is, like, billed as a horror movie. To me, it's a
Mhm.
comedy,
Yes.
and intentionally so. I'm not laughing. I think this movie is
Yes.
so funny.
Right.
From the very big one of the first time we meet Patty, the James
Mhm.
McAvoy character, he goes, "Is this chair taken?" And they say, "Oh, no, I guess not. You can take it." And they take their stuff off it. He just drags it. Like, it just
He rips it.
rattles across these cobblestones near this pool, does not
Yep.
give a shit, just
Nope.
drags it across the whole side of the pool. It is so
Yes.
funny and such a wonderful introduction to this character who does
Yes.
not give a fuck, but you also find it charming.
Find it endearing, yeah. Like, he
Yes.
should be this, like, loud, brash asshole that you hate. You don't.
You don't. And
Yeah.
that's the same with the other scene where, like, It takes it he definitely takes it too far, but I
Mhm.
still can't help but laughing, and that's when the boy and the girl are trying to choreograph a dance to Cotton Eye Joe,
Oh,
and and he gets so mad at the boy for not having rhythm, like
like, feel it in your feet. It is
It's like child abuse has never been funnier than it is in this movie.
I can confidently say it is the most stressful scene with Cotton Eye Joe featured that I've ever seen. Which I feel like should be more common. It's not.
And, the perfect choice of song, like, they couldn't
Yes.
have picked a better song. Because it's just it's yes, that's a song that to these 2 kids this age would definitely think it was fun to
Yes.
choreograph a dance to, and it's
Yeah.
also the dumbest thing for a grown man to get mad about.
Oh my gosh. But again, like, also, this movie definitely knows it's a comedy because as soon as this horrifying, tense movie wraps up, it immediately starts playing, what is it called again?
Eternal Flame.
Eternal Flame by the Bangles. Like, immediately. Like, there's no dark brooding music over the first, couple of,
Nope.
names. It is immediately Bangles. Like, this movie knows what it's doing.
100%. I think this
Mhm.
movie is so well crafted. And also
Yeah.
there's the scene where James McAvoy is just screaming it near the
Yes.
end, near the climax at the movie. That is so funny. And like it's funny, it's kind of sad because in a way you
Yeah.
almost believe he's sad about this. You can never get a read on him. And it's
Yeah.
so fascinating.
Oh, and James McAvoy, again, is an incredible actor, and he commits. Like, he put his whole pussy into this role. Like, he
100%.
committed. Yeah. Oh, he's so good. Um, I forgot about the Cotton Eye Joe scene. That's so funny.
That's that was one when I was rewatching it, that's a scene I was looking forward to. I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
I cannot wait for Cotton Eye Joe."
Ugh, there's this really gross part too where, the little girl again, I love this actress. The little girl character is so smart, because she has this moment where she's trying to get her parents separated, so she, pricks herself and, bleeds to mimic the first time she's getting her period. So smart, so smart. Um, but Patty, like, looks at her and he says, like, "You're a woman now." It's so and it's so, like, sincere, so gross, but it's funny and it's horrifying. It's like 1,000 things at once.
It gives dad vibes, like, I feel like he would
Yes,
be such a dad if he wasn't a killer.
exactly, and I mean, I guess that's technically what he's after.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's put aside everything about, their motives behind money and class and, it's he knows that he has some weird dad vibes and he needs it to fulfill it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so
Oh, I kinda
gross.
love that. Oh,
I know, he just wants to be a papa.
oh, he can be my daddy.
Oh,
I had to say it, I'm sorry.
of course. We
I'm
kinda
sorry
set you
that's
up
the
for
note
it.
we're ending on, yeah.
Oh, it's so
Well,
good.
so there we go.
There we go.
Speak no evil. Gothish. We averaged out to gothish, right in the middle, I think.
Mhm, mhm. So anyways, Chance, what have you been interested in the past couple of weeks?
Amanda, do you know who Tegan and Sarah are?
Yes, I do. Han.
Do you know that there's a documentary about them?
I saw it. Like, I didn't watch the documentary. I'm aware of it. I don't know that much about it. It's like a catfish thing?
I watched this the other night,
Okay.
and I what's the song? I just want back in your
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
They've been in my head ever since,
Really?
and not in a good way. So
Ooh.
the way this documentary is pitched, it is that so if you don't know, so Tegan and Sarah are a lesbian, like, alt-rock duo from Canada. They probably hit it really big, what, oh 06, 08?
Yeah, like, I was, like, just starting high school, so yeah, right around that time.
I really liked their singles back then.
Yeah.
The most recent thing I can think of is that agonizing Lego song, "Everything Is Awesome."
Are they, like, in that? Is that them?
That's them, and
Stop it.
yeah,
That's
and that
disappointing.
song makes me wanna shove a chopstick, like,
Yeah,
deep into my ear canal.
I had no idea that was them.
So there's your context.
Okay.
So the way this documentary is presented is that someone has been posing as Tegan
Okay.
and talking to fans and convincing them that they're talking to Tegan
Mhm.
for over a decade.
Whoa! Okay.
And the documentary is about the dangers of fandom and, like,
Mm,
standum, how far fandom can go for
right.
someone to do something so twisted.
Mm,
They refer to this fake Tegan as Fegan throughout the movie.
incredible.
I had read at least one review of this when it came out. It came out, maybe early this year, last end of last year,
Okay.
and it's on Hulu. I did not expect to get to the end of that movie and think, "Fake Tegan is Tegan."
Whoa,
I think it's her. I
really?
do not think there's a fake Tegan, and here's my evidence. So, evidence 1, there's no evidence that there's a fake Tegan,
Mm,
period. One thing that really upsets me about this movie is that all the critical reviews I've read, all the reviews on Letterboxd I've read, take this at face value.
right.
Tegan says there's a fake Tegan. That's the only evidence we have, 1.
Really?
2, I'm not sure this is a crime. Not that it has to be a crime to be amoral or immoral
Right.
or bad or whatever. They're not extorting money from these people. They're not getting nude photos from these people. They're not sharing nude photos of Tegan. What they're doing is they're starting a chat with a fan on
Mhm.
social media, usually Facebook, and the chats get more and more friendly. The Fegan, I'm using air quotes,
Yep.
will send personal photos of Tegan that are just kinda boring, that
Mm,
no one else should have access to. They will leak demo songs that no one else has access to, and they know personal information that allegedly they think no one else should have access to. Like, they were very private that their mom had cancer,
yeah.
and Fegan knew their mom had cancer. So, they say, and by they, I mean mostly Tegan, but also her manager.
Yeah.
Sarah is, like, barely in the movie.
Okay.
And they say that Sarah's the private one. Tegan is the extroverted one who loves to hang out with fans after the show, talk to people in line. One of the
Mm,
reasons why they became so popular is because they had such a close relationship with their fans.
okay.
And they talk a bit about parasocial relationships, but I'm like, is it parasocial if you're going out and actually talking to them? But
Right.
anyway, so they talk to a few people who have been catfished by Fegan, and
Mm,
they say things like, she would say she was in Colorado, and I'd look at your tour schedule and you're in Colorado, and she would be messaging me, but she never messaged me when you were at a concert or you would otherwise be busy. And she just impersonated you perfectly. And I wanted to be like, cause it is her. Um,
yeah.
so they spend most of the movie focused on this. I believe it's a woman. I'm not sure because and I can never say it. Anonymize and
Yeah.
yes, anonymize them.
Yeah.
They mask their voice where they sound
Oh,
like
yeah.
this,
Mhm.
and they call them Tara, which seems really I think they call them Tara because it sounds like Tegan and Sarah.
Mm,
And this person allegedly wrote Tegan and Sarah twincest fan fiction on the internet,
ew.
which may be icky, but does not mean they are then hacking and pretending to be this person on the internet.
Yeah, honestly.
That seems to be their only evidence. They participated in this, so of course they are now hacking and pretending to be Tegan. So they spend the entire movie saying it's this Tara, and it must be Tara for these reasons, according to them. All the other victims want to share their personal stories, but Tara doesn't. Tara has been in touch with many of the other victims, and Tara is just reluctant in general to talk to them and be a subject of this documentary. Whereas all the other fans want to help them get to the bottom of it.
That seems like maybe you're putting too much on your fans,
Yes.
which
And
is
so,
exactly something that someone who would perpetuate this parasocial relationship would do.
yes. And so it's like, to me, two things. I think I've ended this movie thinking Tegan is a sociopath
Yeah.
and needs to control the narrative. And what is more disgusting than fostering a relationship with someone? And these are like virtual affairs because Tegan was married for a while and
Oh,
is flirting with female fans over the internet.
yep.
And she says at one point, Tegan says, "How would I have time to do this? I was going through a divorce." And there was something else where like, "How would I have time to do this? Our mom was dying of cancer." And I'm like, isn't it strange how when Tegan is going through a very stressful time in her life, Fegan manifests?
Mm, so weird.
And it just so I think that she's having these relationships, and then when they get to whatever for her, she turns against them, and
Uh-huh.
it's never even that bad. That's the thing too. She's like,
Yeah,
she tells them, like, all of a sudden she's like, "You're kind of an annoying person and no one loves you." Like, okay, that's not nice, but like,
right.
I mean, it's not like she's saying go kill yourself or like manipulate anything like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So the relationship goes sour, and then all of a sudden Tegan's manager calls and says, "Someone's impersonating Tegan, and you've been victimized." And now we've reached this point in my mind, my headcanon, where now Tegan is getting to meet these people that she
Mm,
manipulated over the internet. She's getting to meet them face to face and pretend it wasn't her.
that's disgusting.
Again, this is all my theory. I seem to be
Fascinating.
the only person on the internet that believes this.
Yeah.
Um, and also then, and I feel like Tara, who, yes, twin says fan fiction,
Right.
whatever, but like, I feel like Tara's the sane one. And so
Yeah.
they have to tell us that she's crazy to discredit her. And all the fans online are like, it's got to be Tara because she was on those Twincest forums.
Yeah.
And it's got to be Tara because they asked her to do an interview for the documentary and she didn't show up. I'm like, this is
It's
not evidence. This is not
yeah.
evidence. And
Right.
I think the documentarian believes Tegan,
Mm,
but I think the documentarian is a bit of a nitwit.
okay.
Um, because I don't think she understands what evidence is. Like, I think
Yeah.
she believes this is evidence
She just thinks that someone telling a story is evidence.
when it's someone that she respects and trusts. Yes.
Yeah.
And because like they even put in the movie this conversation with Tara where Tara says, "Why can't you prove it's not you?" And they're
Mm,
like, "This crazy bitch is acting like Tegan's the fake Tegan."
what the hell? I feel like I have to watch this now just to like
I'd be curious to know what you think. You have to tell
yeah.
me if I'm crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, I watched this, when did I watch? Maybe Wednesday night, Thursday.
Yeah.
It's Friday. We're recording this on a Friday.
Yeah.
I watched this, I believe, on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and I have
Yeah.
been
Just thinking about it.
spiraling ever since.
Oh my goodness, that's so fascinating. Like I was never like I liked Tegan Sarah a lot. I'm pretty sure I still own some of their CDs. But like I don't think I ever saw them live or, I never had anything like that. But it's funny because like I very much grew up on Tumblr. Like, this is something I've brought up a couple times on the podcast, and it feels like, especially the twincest thing, like, that doesn't it's gross, but it doesn't feel like that big of a crime to me because being on Tumblr, that was extremely normal. Um,
They
that
name
was
drop Tumblr
yes,
specifically in the documentary.
yep. Also, Tumblr was such a breeding ground for parasocial relationships. Um, that is so I feel like I have to watch this. That's so fascinating, and the fact that no one decided that it would be a good idea to take this documentary and actually get any proof is, I think, fascinating in of itself, regardless of the subject.
I think for me, what also I don't know if upset is the right word. I mean, clearly I'm
Mhm.
upset. I've been thinking about it for 48 hours. But like there's reviews of this in the New York Times, the Washington Post, LA Times, and they're all like, someone's been pretending to be Tegan for over a decade. Where is the skepticism? Like, why
Yeah,
has no one I don't know, why is everyone just taking it at face value? That bothers me.
right.
Something I think about, I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast or not. A scene of a movie that I think about almost every day of my life is from The Neon Demon. Have you ever seen The Neon Demon?
N no.
It's a movie in which Elle Fanning becomes a model, and then there's, like, cannibalism involved.
Yes.
So, her character is, like, 16,
Mhm,
15 or something, and Christina Hendricks is the agent who is gonna sign
mhm.
her, and Christina Hendricks gives her the piece of paper and the pen and says, "We need a signature here for parental consent." And she signs it. Elle Fanning signs it. And
Yeah,
Christina Hendricks goes, "If anyone asks, say you're 19, not 18. 18 is too on the nose. Always say you're 19." And Elle Fanning says, "No one's going to believe I'm not 19." And Christina Hendricks says, "Honey, people believe what they're told."
yeah,
I think about that every single day of my life.
yeah,
And that's the whole Christina Hendricks' head is just floating through my mind during this
yep,
whole movie. People believe what they're told.
yeah,
And even when you're being presented with nothing
yep,
or contrary evidence, people believe what they're told. And it's just, I think that's fundamentally what is upsetting me the most about this
yes,
documentary.
yeah. I mean, we could get into, like, a whole rant about, like, how that is just quintessential. It's funny, we went from, like, "Rah, rah, America," but, like, quintessential American, that's, like, a huge problem with I mean, we live in a society, man. Like, it's a huge problem with society right now is the lack
Yes.
of, what's the term? Literacy,
Media
information literacy,
literacy?
media
Information. Yep.
literacy. Yes, yeah. There's just a complete lack of media literacy, complete lack of being able to, yeah, have that skepticism. And it sucks because, it's not inherently a bad thing to be trusting, but it's also not beneficial if you, like you said, just believe everything you're told. It's
Mhm.
okay to question things, but um, yeah, I mean that like opens up so many channels of convoluted craziness.
Yes. I do recommend watching it if you're a skeptic.
Yeah, I
And
just I want
please
to know
report back and
now.
let me know if I'm crazy.
Yeah, no, the amount of times I've had to fact check my parents is it's quite astonishing.
It's,
Yeah,
fact checking is such a valuable skill to
it
have.
is. It is. It is. The Google debunkers. That is who I strive to be.
Oh, is that a thing?
Google debunkers? Yeah, one thing that I do love is, this YouTuber called Miniminuteman. So, there's a lot of M's and a lot of I's. Minimute man. Um, and he does a lot of I believe he has, like, formal training, like a degree in archaeology or history or something. So he debunks a lot of, like, ancient alien type conspiracies, like, a lot of those, like, conspiracies, flat earth, that kinda stuff. Um, and I mean, not only do I love his content because of, like, the actual debunking, but it's more the, like, ways he goes about it, like, the way he talks about just taking a moment and trying to use your rational brain, and again, like, kind of like you were saying, like, think about what isn't being shown. Think about what isn't being
Mhm.
proven and weigh that against what can be proven. Such, like,
Mhm.
an important skill for anyone to have, and we're lacking right now.
We're lacking, but you and I are here. We're here
Mhm.
to help
To be just and
guide.
right in every single thing we do.
Oh, 100%.
We have never, made any mistakes in any of our information. I'm,
But
I'm
I
taking
encourage people to fact check us.
please do, please do.
We need it. We need help.
I mean, just judging on the fact that I, Googled what happened to the pig in Misery, and the Google AI was such a funny thank God I at least had my wits about me to not believe that. Um,
Mhm.
it's a fine line though. It's a fine line.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Please fact check everyone, us included.
Please. Yes. Always double check. Always double check your facts. Always double check that the Scottish man that you're traveling to his house isn't look at this. Be skeptical, people. That should be like the tagline of our podcast.
Be skeptical.
Be skeptical. I think that's a good one.
Well, I think that's a great note for us to end on.
Perfect.
So thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Ghosties, for listening to us talk about skepticism and fact checking, and also Speak No Evil.
Mhm.
Please subscribe to us wherever you get fine podcasts. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, or
Awful
Spotify.
podcast.
We have a few 5-star reviews, so thank you for those who have left those ratings for us. And share us with a friend. Until next time, stay ghosty. Bye-bye.